Close your eyes for a moment. Picture this. You're seated comfortably on an airplane, cruising at 10,000 feet. The cabin lights are dim. Maybe you're reading, or perhaps dozing off. But you feel safe, secure in this marvel of modern engineering. Then, without warning, a blinding flash, a deafening explosion that rattles you to your core. The floor beneath your feet just disappears. You're sucked out into the void, still strapped into your seat, plummeting towards a dark, indistinguishable landscape below. This isn't a scene from a Hollywood blockbuster. This is the story of the girl who fell from the LANSA Flight and survived. It was December 24th, 1971, Christmas Eve. For most, a day filled with joy, anticipation, and family gatherings. For 17-year-old Juliane Koepcke, it was supposed to be a journey of reunion. She and her mother, Maria, were flying from Lima to Pucallpa, a city in the heart of the Peruvian Amazon, to join her father, Hans, a renowned zoologist, for Christmas. Juliane wasn't your typical teenager. Her childhood had been spent largely in the rainforest, at her parents' research station, Panguana. She knew the jungle intimately, not as a tourist, but as a student of its complex ecosystems. This unique upbringing would prove to be her salvation. She was familiar with its sounds, dangers, and secrets. The flight, LANSA Flight 508, was a Lockheed Electra turboprop, carrying 92 passengers and crew. It was a common route, a routine journey. As they boarded, the sky was already darkening, ominous clouds gathering on the horizon. But in those days, passengers trusted the pilots, and everyone was eager to reach their destinations. Little did they know, this seemingly ordinary flight was heading straight into a maelstrom. As Flight 508 entered the dense cloud cover, the atmosphere in the cabin changed. The plane began to shake violently. What started as light turbulence quickly escalated into a terrifying ordeal. Luggage burst from overhead compartments, scattering across the aisle. Passengers screamed. The flight attendants, usually calm, now looked visibly distressed. The pilots, attempting to navigate through the monstrous storm, were caught in a deadly trap. The plane was tossed around like a toy. Then, at an altitude of approximately 10,000 feet, the unthinkable happened. A massive bolt of lightning struck the aircraft's right wing, igniting a fuel tank. The wing sheared off. The plane began to disintegrate in mid-air. Juliane, still strapped into her three-seat bench, was sucked out of the fuselage. The last thing she heard from her mother was, "This is the end, everything is over." Then, the roaring wind took over, and she plunged into the darkness, spiraling towards the impenetrable green carpet of the Amazon rainforest below. She lost consciousness. When Juliane awoke, it wasn't to the quiet comfort of a hospital bed, but to the stifling humidity and buzzing insects of the rainforest floor. It was Christmas morning. She was alone. Her seat, incredibly, had acted like a parachute, its spinning motion and the dense canopy breaking her 2-mile fall. Disoriented and in immense pain, her vision blurry, she'd lost her glasses. Juliane tried to piece together what had happened. She called out for her mother, but only the echoing sounds of the jungle answered. She was alive, a miracle against all odds, but now faced a new, equally terrifying challenge: survival in one of the world's most hostile environments. She found a small bag of candy, her only source of food. Critically, her instincts, honed by years spent at her parents' research station, kicked in. She knew the jungle was teeming with dangers: venomous snakes, jaguars, caimans, and a myriad of unseen threats. But she also remembered her father's cardinal rule for jungle survival: follow the water. Small streams lead to big rivers, and big rivers lead to people. For the next 10 days, Juliane embarked on an agonizing journey. Her broken collarbone made moving excruciating. She waded through waist-deep water, the only path she felt safe on, fearing what lurked in the dense undergrowth. Every step was a battle. She battled dehydration, exhaustion, and the relentless onslaught of insects. Her injuries began to fester. The wound on her arm became infested with maggots, a horrifying reality for someone so isolated. She developed a fever. Hallucinations began, blurring the line between reality and the feverish imaginings of a mind pushed to its limits. She saw her mother in the water, heard voices, felt herself losing hope. But something deep within her, a primal will to survive, kept her moving forward. On the 10th day, just as her strength was about to give out, she saw it, a small, moored boat. And nearby, a crude hut. These were signs of humans. With a final surge of adrenaline, she dragged herself to the hut. Inside, she found a small container of gasoline. Recalling how her father would extract parasites from their dog, she made a desperate, agonizing decision. She poured the gasoline directly into her maggot-infested wound. The pain was excruciating, but it worked. The maggots began to emerge. The next morning, 3 Peruvian woodcutters arrived. They were stunned. They initially thought she was a water goddess from local folklore, rising from the river due to her spectral appearance. But Juliane quickly explained her impossible ordeal. They gave her food, tended to her wounds, and, in a moment that must have felt like pure salvation, transported her by boat for 7 hours to a nearby mission. She was safe. Juliane Koepcke was the sole survivor of LANSA Flight 508. Out of 92 people, she was the only one to walk out of that jungle. Investigators later found evidence that several other passengers had initially survived the crash, but without Juliane's unique knowledge and resilience, they succumbed to the jungle's unforgiving embrace. Juliane went on to become a respected zoologist, just like her parents, dedicating her life to studying and preserving the very rainforest that almost took her life, and yet, miraculously, saved it. Her story isn't just about surviving a plane crash. It's a testament to the indomitable power of the human spirit, the wisdom of preparation, and the sheer, unfathomable luck that can defy all statistical probability. It's the story of the girl who fell from the sky, and against every possible odd, found her way home.